Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Call It in the Ring, where I, Chris, today will be giving you my predictions for Extreme Rules 2018. There are 12 matches on this very long card. Obviously I'm not a fan because oversaturation kind of kills appeal, but there's 2 on the pre-show, 10 on the main card, and we'll be going through all of them today. These will be for bragging rights effectively at this point in time, mine versus Mike's. Mike's video will be a separate video, which will be coming out later today as well. Hopefully you guys will check that out as well, so you can compare and contrast and see our opinions. Hopefully all of our opinions aren't the same, because then it'll be a very weird set of videos. But either way, we'll see what happens. But with that, I'm going to start off with the pre-show matches. We're going to be going off with Andrade Cien Almas versus Sin Cara. It's pretty much going to be a one-and-done squash match. Sin Cara is in the twilight of his career. Not much is really happening with him. And I don't expect him to beat Andrade. Obviously, it just doesn't make a lot of sense if he were to walk away with a W on this night. So Andrade's going to win. Probably off a distraction from Zelina Vega to the double knees in the corner. And that'll be as much as we're going to need to see a win. There's not going to be any random false finishes, I don't think. It's going to be one and done. Next match we have on the card is going to be Sanity versus the New Day in a tables match. I'm going with Sanity for this one. Makes the most sense. Sanity needs this win. They haven't really won a match on the main card since they came up. And it kind of hurts them that they haven't really won anything. Jeff Hardy kind of handily took care of Eric Young. The Usos and Jeff Hardy then subsequently took them on a 6-man tag and beat them there. Then they lost a 10-man tag against the same team, along with Team Hell No added on versus Sandy and the Bludgeon Brothers, and this hasn't really worked out in their favor more recently, so they more desperately than the New Day happen to need a win. So I'm going to go with Sanity for that one. Then the next match we have is going to be the first match on the card, which hopefully will be a good match. It's going to be Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin. I'm just going to go with Finn Balor for this one. I don't think Corbin needs this win. Balor needs it more. I think it'll help elevate him so he can contend maybe for the IC title depending on what happens down the line. Whether Seth or Ziggler wins, Balor would probably be another good contender. Hopefully he'd be the next champion to hold it. But either way, I think he needs it more. Corbin doesn't really need it, and their feud's kind of lacking. I hope this will be the end of their feud as well, so Finn can move on to other things. And yeah, because it's just been very repetitive, and I'm very much over it. Then the next match that we have on the card is going to be Jeff Hardy versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the U.S. title. Now, this match, honestly, in my opinion, is going to be Shinsuke's win for more than one reason. One, he never really got the world title when he fought AJ. He beat him a lot on TV, but he never beat him when it mattered in pay-per-view. And really hurt his character a lot, and he needs to find a way to get back to that place he was when he first turned heel after WrestleMania. Even though the most logical progression would have been for him to have beaten AJ at Mania and then turned heel, but they chose to not go with that, so we're stuck in this little spot where we have to rehab Shinsuke. But either way, it's that and the fact that Jeff has been very injury prone since he's come back. He's missed a lot of time out, and I think he just needs time to heal. So I'm going to go with Shinsuke for the obvious win, because he just needs it more, and Jeff's just not going to win. Hopefully. Then we're going to have the B team, Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel versus the Leader of Worlds and Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy for the Raw Tag Team Championships. I personally believe that this match will not go very long. It's going to be kind of reminiscent of the fluky back and forth matches they've been having. Obviously it'll go longer than those. But I just don't think the B team's going to win. They missed their opportunity. They had multiple opportunities to be put into a match on Raw where they could have won the titles there, but they didn't do it. And it really hurt them. It genuinely hurt them. And as a result, they just suffered. And I wish they hadn't been in that situation where they were constantly impersonating the Hardy Wyatt combo, but they didn't do anything different with them. And now they feel kind of boring. And everyone's kind of over them, so I think they just missed their opportunity. They're not winning that belt. I think the Leaders of Worlds are going to hold it long enough for AOP to come and challenge them for it. and AOP will probably be your next Raw Tag Team Champions. I don't know when it's going to be. Maybe they'll have a a back and forth and maybe a second match at SummerSlam, and then AOP will challenge them into a feud going into Survivor Series. Something will happen, but either way, B Team's time is up. There's something that's going to happen for them now. So with that, I'm going to move on to the next match. It's likely going to be Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental Championship with Drew McIntyre at ringside in a 30-minute Iron Man match. Now, Seth Rollins doesn't need to win this. Honestly, I think he's going to put on a great showing. He's been having fire matches, literally trying to burn it down. But, and Dolph obviously is always out there trying to steal the show. Their characters work well. Their dynamics work well. They put on amazing matches on Raw the last couple weeks. I just don't think he's going to walk away with the belt. I think it's just a done deal at this point. Ziggler's going to hold on to it. I think they're going the way of the Ryback contract, where Ryback was going to leave, so they gave Ryback the IC title. So they're trying to do it with Ziggler now, like, hey, here's a title, hold you over. We're going to put you in an upper mid-card feud. And, you can help bring some prestige to the belt and have a lot of great matches and get some TV spots. So you'll feel like you're a big deal again. I think that's what they're doing with him. And in the meanwhile, they can also put Rollins in a position where he could potentially benefit from, being elevated to the main event, which is where he deserves to be. Hopefully they put him there and utilize him properly. But yeah, I think because Rollins is probably moving up, Ziggler is staying because of the contract negotiations and stuff like that. Ziggler's going to walk away with this one. So next match we have on the card is probably going to be the Braun Strowman versus KO match in a steel cage. There's nothing on the line, just KO's safety, I guess, because he's been getting fucked up by Braun for pretty much the last couple of weeks, honestly, and it hasn't really worked out in his favor either. He has had no way to get any heat back against Braun. Braun has just been fucking him up, and it's almost to the point where you kind of feel bad for KO. He had his car flipped over. He was put inside a porta potty and then pushed off the stage. He's been getting fucked up. He was thrown off a ladder at a Money in the Bank. He has not really had an opportunity to get his heat back against Braun, and it makes him look like he's just struggling. Feel for the man. Honestly, I'm gonna go with KO with this, but I don't think he's gonna win clean. I don't think he's gonna use weapons either. I think either he's gonna win due to let's say Braun knocks himself out somehow trying to climb up to chase KO from getting out the ring, and KO ends up knocking him down, hitting him with a bullfrog splash and escaping the cage after Braun is incapacitated, or Braun will throw KO out the cage, and KO will technically make his escape by having been thrown out the cage, and that's where he'll get his W. Either way, it's going to KO. It also won't really hurt Braun because Braun has the Money in the Bank contract, and he's kind of plateaued. He kind of needs a little loss, a little here and there to face some kind of adversity. He's kind of the most guarded project Vince has had since he's come up. A lot of people say Roman for obvious reasons, but if you think about Braun has organically went from being a really green guy that no one liked to being one of the biggest faces on Raw, next to Rollins. So yeah, I just think it's gonna be one of those things where he's just not needed to win this match as much as KO is. And also, you never know, we might see KO turn face. There's a lot that we can do here, so we'll see what happens. But then from there, we're gonna move from one cage match to another cage match with Carmella versus Asuka with James Ellsworth inside of the steel cage. This is because Ellsworth's been effectively fucking with Asuka, and WWE's really trying to sell those steel cage, shark cage toys that haven't really been selling as well as they'd like for them to sell. This is the third, or I think fourth, match in a while where we've seen them using the shark cage. I think the previous three were Jericho in a shark cage versus KO, and Roman, when KO and Roman were fighting for the Universal title at Royal Rumble 2017. There was also the thing with Enzo and Big Cass, where Enzo was put in a steel shark cage above the ring, while Big Cass fought Big Show. I forgot the name of that pay-per-view, but I know that was late 2017 as well. And then we also have TM61 versus the AOP at the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Final, which obviously they had Paul Ellering in a shark cage there, and I think that was the advent of them trying to bring the shark cage back. But I don't know. Either way, I think Asuka's not winning this match for obvious reasons. It's just not really Asuka's time. Obviously, they've been doing a lot of weird stuff with her, and they really hurt her character when she lost that match against Carmella and Money in the Bank. Even though I get there was like a, Ellsworth came back and she was confused and knew what to do, so she ate a super kick and just lost. It's really made her feel like one of the women. I think this is gonna be like a continuing trend. They're just trying to kind of bring her character down a little bit, so he doesn't have to book her so heavily and put her in situations where she has to win no matter what. Which kind of, I understand the method to it, but it is very frustrating from a fan's perspective when you're trying to see someone, in these matches do their thing, but they can't because someone's trying to lower their stock for the sake of elevating others. But and also Carmella is just not ready, in my opinion, to be walking around with the women's championship like she is now. But that's a different story for a different day. But either way, Carmella's walking away with the title. Asuka's gonna just have to eat the pin off of this one, and that's that. Then the third match from last is going to likely be Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax in a Raw Women's Championship match. I think it's an Extreme Rules match. I think it's the only Extreme Rules match on the card, which is kind of dumb when you have a theme pay-per-view and like the only match on the card that's actually under the Extreme stipulation. I get the pre-show match. That doesn't really count. Because the pre-show, if they wanted to be on the main card, they would have put it there. So it doesn't really count for the main card, which is what the name of the fucking show is named after. But either way, that's how they have things set up. And unfortunately for them, they've done it this way. So we're going to have Alexa versus Nia, Extreme Rules match. Ronda Rousey's allegedly going to be in the front row because she's allegedly going to buy a ticket a la Goldberg in No Mercy 2004. So we'll see what happens with that. I think Alexa's going to walk away with the belt. I think Nia's run as champion is pretty much over. There's no real reason for her to get it back, especially considering that Alexa's probably going to be feuding with Ronda for the foreseeable future. And yeah, I think that's just pretty much it. There's just not much for her there. I think maybe Ronda's going to interfere in some way, or she's just going to generally cost Nia by trying to get back at Alexa, and just doesn't work out in her favor. But with that, either way, Alexa's going to win. Then we have the penultimate match, which is going to be Rusev versus AJ Styles for the world title. AJ Styles is winning this match. Enough said. It's Rusev Day, but they've missed their opportunity with this one. He was super over, and I've never seen a man get over selling calendars like he did, but he did. And they fucked up the opportunity that they had to do something with him, and as a result, now it feels like it's too little too late. He's more oriented around being a heel again, and it's hurt him immensely. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But I'm pretty sure he's losing that match against AJ. Also, AJ's walking into this match being the cover star of the new game that's coming out, so I highly doubt he's going to lose the match. That's kind of it. That's kind of it. It's just Rusev Day is not over, but it's just not gonna be a day of champions for now. And then last but not least, we have Bobby Lashley versus Roman Reigns. This is for bragging rights, not for the number one contendership or anything like that. Kind of stupid that it's happening that way, but it is, and we're just going to have to deal with it, unfortunately. They've had a lot of weird back and forths going for the last 4 weeks. I don't really know who's the heel in this. It's probably Lashley because, Vince. But I'm gonna go with Bobby Lashley for this one. I think Vince is kind of coming to terms with the fact that the fans have fatigue over Roman. Paul Heyman was cutting promos on Facebook about all the people that have been trying to contend against Brock and how Brock doesn't see anybody fit as a challenger. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna slide some shade a little bit more that way in the forthcoming weeks after Extreme Rules, with Bobby having picked up the win here against Roman. It'll also be a change of pace. You'll have somebody for the fans to cheer because they'll be super hyped with the fact that Roman's not winning, but also super hyped with the fact that Brock's going to potentially lose the belt to Bobby, because that was supposed to be the thing they were going to do anyway, but it didn't happen when he came back after WrestleMania. Hopefully it'll happen now. But with that being said, guys, thanks for tuning in. These are my predictions for Extreme Rules. Please like, share, and subscribe. Leave your opinions in the comments of who you think are going to be walking out with their wins at Extreme Rules on Sunday night. As I stated at the beginning of the video, Mike will be doing a separate video with his predictions. I'll be leaving that in the links down below as well, with our links for our Twitches and our Twitters. Please check all 5 of those out. Specifically Mike's video. Go out there, show us some support. Let's get this ball rolling. Call in the Ring, getting this content out to you guys. Fresh, hot, new. It's explosive. It's dynamic. We're bringing the heat. We're going to burn it down. And I know that was really cheesy, but I genuinely mean that. We're trying to do as much as we can to elevate our content and just do some stuff with you guys where everyone gets to eat, everyone benefits, and there's a community, there's a discussion to be had about the topic of the sport of professional wrestling. And with that, as always, guys, thanks for tuning in. Always be on the lookout for us. You might catch us in the wild on Twitter, getting mad about what's happening during the pay-per-views. And you know how I do. Don't be afraid to call in the ring.